everyone, how are you? I hope everyone is okay. Welcome back to another episode of American Culture Mix. In the first episode, if you remember, we talked about the American dream and whether it still exists today. In the second episode, I shared some of my own observations after spending several summers traveling across the United States, and we discussed how everyday life often looks very different from the stereotypes we see in films and social media. Today, I would like to continue this conversation by exploring another idea that is often associated with America: the belief that America is the land of individualism. We have all heard expressions like be yourself, follow your dreams, stand out. You can become whoever you want to be. These ideas appear everywhere, right? In movies, advertisements, university speeches, business culture, and even children's books. Individuality is often presented as one of America's defining values. But what does individualism actually mean? And does everyday life really reflect this ideal? One thing I noticed while spending time in the United States is that people generally have a strong sense of personal space and personal choice. People don't always feel the need to explain their decisions. Someone may decide to change careers at 40, move across the country, go back to university, travel alone, start a small business, or simply live differently from those around them. There is often an underlying assumption that your life belongs to you. That may sound obvious, but culturally it isn't obvious everywhere. Different societies place different values on community. So, family expectations, tradition, or collective identity. America has historically emphasized the individual much more strongly than many other cultures. Of course, this has many advantages. Individualism encourages creativity, innovation, personal responsibility. People are often encouraged to ask, what do I want? Instead of what will everyone else think? I think this mindset has contributed to many scientific discoveries, artistic movements, and success stories. But every cultural value also has another side. Individualism can sometimes become isolation. If success belongs entirely to the individual, failure also appears to belong entirely to the individual. People may begin blaming themselves for circumstances that are actually much more complex. Economic conditions, educational opportunities, health, social inequality, these factors also shape people's lives. Yet the language of individual success sometimes makes us forget that. This is one reason why literature becomes so valuable. American literature often questions the very myths that American culture celebrates. Think about the Great Gatsby. Jay Gatsby seems like the perfect self made man. He reinvents himself, he becomes wealthy, he creates an entirely new identity. At first glance, he appears to represent the American ideal, but Fitzgerald slowly reveals that personal ambition alone cannot erase class differences, emotional loss, or social barriers. The novel quietly asks whether individual success is enough to create happiness. We find similar questions in many American writers. Some celebrate independence, others remind us that human beings also need community, belonging, and connection. Personally, I don't think individualism is either completely good or completely bad. Like most cultural ideas, it becomes meaningful when we understand both its strengths and its limitations. One thing I admire about American culture is its encouragement of curiosity. People often feel comfortable exploring different careers, different cities, different interests, and different versions of themselves. There is a certain openness to change. At the same time, I also think every society benefits from remembering that no one succeeds entirely alone. Behind every achievement, there are teachers, right? Friends, families, communities, books, mentors. Sometimes we celebrate independence so much that we forget how interconnected our lives really are. Perhaps that is the question I would like to leave you with today. What does it really mean to be independent? Is independence about doing everything alone? Or is it about having the freedom to become yourself while remaining connected to others? I don't think there is one simple answer, but I do think these are the kinds of questions that cultural myths invite us to ask. Thank you so much for watching another episode of American Cultural Myths. I would love to hear your commentaries. Do you think America is truly the land of individualism? Or has that the idea become another cultural myth that is more complicated than it is first appears? Let me know in the comments. And I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.